So this is part one of a two-part series that we're going to present. Our second webinar will be next month, and it will be February the 8th. You'll probably be receiving, excuse me, some information regarding that, so don't worry. It will be at the same time. All of our webinars are typically at the same time, so if you're used to that, it'll be 11 o'clock Central, and adjust accordingly to your time zone, please. Okay, so with that, we're going to get started with really beginning portions of BIM Collaborate Pro for Civil 3D users. The second portion is where we'll really get into more of the civil aspect of it. But I wanted to reiterate, getting started, a lot of this is new for people. Most engineers I'm finding are not embracing the BIM like architectural folks do, and that's okay because we are kind of set in our ways and our ways work. So hopefully this will help you see that it's not something that's going to be too difficult to implement and for your team to start using. Okay, so we'll start, like I said, at the very beginning. We'll take a look at the interface. We'll see how we can upload content, view our projects, add members, etc. So with that, we'll get started here. I don't like to use PowerPoint a whole lot, so we'll get started with a quick look around at Autodesk's Cloud Platform. Okay, now there's a lot going on here. Excuse me. But it's made of several different products. Okay, so all of these little modules, as they're called, come together and literally perform all their duties and create Autodesk's Cloud Platform. Okay, now these are not all of the modules. These are really the big ticket items and the main ones that we'll be using. And honestly, Autodesk Docs is your starting point. Okay, and Docs is going to be your file storage for your cloud platform. So it's going to be the location where you'll create your project folders, directory structures, uploading your PDFs, drawing files, imagery, Revit files, all sorts of different files can be uploaded into your Docs. Within Docs, we'll also be able to invite members, we'll assign permissions, and we can do some design review activities, which I'll probably cover at the beginning of the next seminar, because there's some really neat things that can be done with markups. And I know that that's important, at least for us in civil. Okay, so a couple of the other, we've got design collaboration, and that allows us to maintain our live civil 3D project files in the cloud. Okay, so what this does is it improves upon Docs from being a file store similar to Vault, but with the ability to work on those active projects. Okay, everything will stay on the cloud unless you download and do otherwise. Okay, one thing to take into consideration is that design collaboration also works with Revit and Plant 3D. So if you've got some subs that utilize those softwares, they can be a part of collaboration as well here. Now we also have model coordination. Now model coordination comes into play if you're going to utilize multiple teams. And basically what you'll do is, according to the way that it's set up, each team will have its own dedicated space. So they can collaborate amongst themselves. For example, you've got an architect, they'll have their own location, they'll have their own team, they'll be able to do their files, interact with each other, etc. And then when the time is right, they can share with the other teams within model coordination. Now, the really cool thing with that is any shared work can be put together and create one single BIM model. So we can literally see what's going to happen in the finished product before it goes out to either approval or bid or construction, etc. Okay. Now, BIM Collaborate Pro is the name that is given to those three modules. That's kind of the umbrella name for it. So once we get in and start talking about things, model coordination, design, collaboration, and docs is going to be the main modules. Okay, so with that, hey, we're done with PowerPoint for now. And I'm going to slide on over. Okay, and we're going to access the cloud, which I've already done. Okay, the web address to get started is www.acc.autodesk.com. Okay, now what you see will probably be different than what I see, only because if you're getting started, you probably won't have projects available, you won't have members available, etc. Okay, now I'm already signed in to my Autodesk account. You may be prompted to do the same before you access this. So you'll see that nice little screen that Autodesk puts up there. It will ask for your credentials, your login and your password, and it will access it. So here on my welcome screen, I see the projects that I have access to. Okay, so this is kind of Hagerman's kind of go-to location. We all have a couple of different projects in here that we use from time to time for webinars and demos and things of that nature. So because I'm an account admin, I'm going to have access to all of them, but we'll talk about permissions later. Okay, so we're just going to pretend like we're starting something fresh. Now, I did practice a little bit yesterday. In the coming days, I created a webinar. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a project. Okay, so we'll simply click create project. Okay, now you may also be a project admin. That will allow you to do this as well. So you must be some sort of admin, correct, Alice, in order for a project to be created, whether it's account or project.
By default, an account admin can create projects. If they enable project admins to create projects, then they can as well.
Okay, so that's good to know. So they must have basically the permission to do that then. Perfect, thank you. Okay, so I'll go ahead and enter in a project name. I already have one called webinar, so 2024. Today's date is the 9th, but we'll call this Civil 3D webinar instead. Okay, now we have certain areas that we must fill in. Okay, they're denoted by the red asterisk. So it's very similar to every other type of card or dialog box that requests information from you, from purchasing online to whatever else. So the ones that don't, you don't have to worry about. I will put one in here, so we'll give it a made up project number. Now the account, this is what I have access to, Hagerman_ACC, which is our cloud location. So this is my account. You may see more, you may see less, you may not have one, okay? But we're going to click on Hagerman_ACC, okay? So if you're just getting started, you'll probably just see your account. So with that, let's see here, let's close some stuff so we don't have that annoying box. All right. So what's our project type? Well, we have all sorts of project types here. from government buildings to stadiums, hotels, convention centers, okay? And you can see that they are divided up into separate different topics, for example, industrial and engineering, or energy, excuse me, and infrastructure. So this is where we will be, okay? And we'll just set one, we'll go streets, roads, highways, okay? Now, the template is where we can select a predefined directory structure for our project, okay? So if you're using Civil or any other type of software, you probably already have a company standard whereby your project template might have the company name that you're doing the project for, a project number, and then underneath you'll have documents and DWGs and submittals and things of that nature. This is where, if you have one, we can create that and go through and utilize it instead of creating it over and over and over again manually, okay? So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So for timing purposes, I'm going to add in just an address here because I kind of think it's going to be fun. Maybe if I can type. There we go. I want that one right there. 1060 West Addison, Chicago, Illinois. Okay. And for time purposes, we'll just leave the rest alone because we can always come back later. So let's go ahead and we'll create the project. So this will set us up. It'll take us right to the project, okay? It will show us the members that are currently available within this project. Now, because I just created it, obviously, I'm the only one that's in here, okay? So this is typical. Now, what you also see over here on the right-hand side is kind of the properties card, and we'll see that I'm set up as Hagerman ACC, okay? What's my role here? Now, your role is optional, but right now, architect, BIM manager, CIS, civil engineer, construction manager, etc. Okay, so in this case, civil engineer it is. You can also start typing in, and it'll go ahead and start looking for it. It's very nice and very easy to work with. Okay, so I'm going to be a civil. My access level. So for the access level, because I'm an account admin as well as now project admin, I have project administrator rights. So in this case, if I wanted to, I could bump myself down, or if needed to. Maybe I'm the one that creates the projects, but I'm not the one that is going to be the administrator going forward for the project. That might be the project manager, okay? So I could literally change my access level here if I wanted to do so, all right? So the most important aspect of adding yourself to your project is making sure that you have access to your products. The most important one, docs, okay? We want design collaboration, and we talked about model coordination. So those are the three main ones that we want to utilize here, or that I need in order to move forward with this project with my current role, okay? Now, down here at the bottom is a place for unpurchased products. Now I've got a couple in here. I've got auto specs, I've got build, I've got cost management, okay? Those are something that can be added at any point and activated at any point, okay? I happen to have those, but it's not necessary for our project, okay? At least not yet. All right. So with that, we'll close up our properties and we'll come back over to our main location here under members. Okay. So with that, I see that I'm a member. So now what I'd like to do is move into docs. Okay. Now this is normal. Okay. So it's going to open up my construction cloud and I'm going to access the project that we just created. Okay. Your project that you create will always be at the top of the list. Okay. So that'll be very easy and quick for you to do, at least initially. All right. So now we can see the tools and the features that are available to us in Docs. And right now we've got files selected. So when we create a project, it automatically populates for project files. And this is where we can start building out our directory structure. Okay. If we select the ellipsis there to the immediate right of project files, we can go ahead and add subfolders. We can sort, we can upload, we have all sorts of different options here. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll start populating and we'll add a subfolder. Now, we could also right click on project files. We get the same shortcut menu. So if you're a right clicker, that's going to be available to you as well. So we'll just start off, excuse me, and we'll create one called images to start. Okay, you can either hit enter or you can select the check mark. And now we have images available to us. Okay, so I'll continue to add another subfolder, for example, documents, and enter. And we'll add one more, and I'm just right clicking at this juncture. And we'll just say plan sheets or plan and profile sheets. That sounds good. Okay, so now we're getting our directory structure in order. Okay, now at this point, the functionality is just like Windows File Explorer. We'll double click to add it, or excuse me, to change it and see what's populated within those subfolders. Okay, and we can now drag and drop or copy and paste. So basically Windows functionality that we all know, right? Okay, that's going to be something that we don't have to learn. They've made it very simple to start populating your projects. Now you can, for example, if I select images, I can right click or select the ellipsis. I can add a subfolder. So maybe under my images, I have aerials. Okay, or maybe I have some InfraWorks. Thumbnails that I want to use here that are applicable to this project. Okay. Plan and profile subfolder. Let's start with PDFs and enter. Okay. So now I do have a couple of PDFs that I'm going to add. So we'll get my File Explorer. There it is. Okay. So I've got two plan and profile sheets here. So very simply hit Control, grab them both, and drag. Now, while this is uploading, you don't have to wait for it. You can simply click Done. You'll get a card that shows you your processing and your progress, and it'll let you know when it is complete, but you do not have to wait for it. We can continue on and make any changes or edits that we need to. Okay. And once it's done, we'll go ahead and we'll just click stop. So I also happen to have a Word document. And we'll go ahead and drop that into documents. Fat fingered that one, gentlemen and ladies. Okay, done. And I've got a couple of InfoWorks thumbnails that I want to access as well. Now you can always click upload files, or you can right click and upload files. I just find drag and drop to be more convenient or efficient for me. And those thumbnails might take a little bit of time, so that's a nice thing to be able to say done. And we can continue to move on. All right. Okay, 3 files have been successfully uploaded. It tells you. Boom. So just like that, we can start populating our folders. Now, in order to open the file, simply click on the name. File will open. Okay, it will open up in a browser. And it's going to take a while probably to update to the resolution. That might not have been the most wisest choice, but that's all right. Okay. Now, this is basically using hyperlink technology. So if you know what a hyperlink is, we're basically linking, and then we're able to open it in the browser. Okay. Now, as far as IT is concerned, this is something that is simple, effective. It's just the service that's provided. Okay. There's no installation, there's no hot fixes, there's no rollouts, there's no deployments. It is managed by Autodesk and using Amazon servers. Right, Alice?
Correct.
Okay, so it's literally using Amazon's huge servers in order to provide this cloud platform for us. Okay, so it's relatively easy to get started. Now, Docs has the ability to open over 100 industry standard files, DWGs, PDFs, DGNs, Navisworks, Revit files, Microsoft Office files, images, videos. So it makes it very simple for folks that are associated with this project to be able to review plan sheets, ROIs, etc. Okay.
I will add one clarification to that. You can
Please.
upload about 100 file formats, but not all file formats are viewable via the cloud environment, but probably about half of those are.
But probably, excuse me, the main.
Oh yeah, all your
that
CAD files.
That Autodesk probably provides that might be a better go by.
Yeah, there's a list of them out there, but pretty much any of your design files will be able to be viewable from different manufacturers as well as Autodesk, PDFs, any Microsoft Office files, Word, Excel, excuse me, can also be viewed up there.
Okay, thank you, Alex.
And so forth.
Appreciate that. And I've got a couple. These should come in a lot faster and easier. Okay, and done. And they'll populate here in just a second. And I'm going to pick one of these. Once they come up. Now, I'm going to show you versioning. And I did not have luck with this yesterday. One thing to do is we'll click on the plan and profile sheet. There's our plan and profile sheet. Okay. Now, if I need to see additional sheets, for example, I don't have to close this and open the next one. If you move down to the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a plus symbol. That'll take you to the next file. Or I'm sorry, an arrow pointing in the right direction for next file. We'll also see kind of a tabular location or grid. If we select that, it will show us a thumbnail of all of the files that are in that folder, and you're very quickly able to select the one that you would like to go to. Okay. Perfect. Close the X, and we're back to where we started. Okay. Now, if you have, like, we go back to our documents. Okay. And I just happen to have just a Word document that I threw in here to test with. I know it's a good Word document. I did open it. But if you have Microsoft 365, you can access your document, make your changes, and you would see a new version here. Now, I don't know, and if Alice paid, if I'm doing something not correct, but I couldn't get my versions to work yesterday. So if I open it, it opens up.
Oh yeah, that's just the viewer. So you would need to open it up in your Microsoft 365 account.
Well, if I click edit, doesn't it swap to 365?
Does, but are you logged in?
Or it's still a viewer?
I usually open it through my Word account. So I don't know. You should be able to coordinate with others. Let me.
Well, let me try this just to see if it
try
works.
it again. You may need to refresh your screen too, but go ahead.
Okay.
But you should be able to collaborate together on that document.
Correct. So let's just go ahead. We'll just add additional sentence and change the color. Okay. I have everything set. Everything's good. I want to come up, and it automatically saves when you're in 365, right? It's an automatic save.
Yep. Yep.
So now what I'd like to do is save it back to my Autodesk Docs. So I'll click on Autodesk Docs, and it should come up as version 2.
Try doing a refresh. And look into that one, Scott, because I've always opened it from Word itself, and I don't have any trouble. I've not tried it that way, so we can test that and regroup on that for the next session.
But yes, all right, thank you.
It still
yes,
says
you are able to track your versions. It
still shows that document is locked, so there might be something in the workflow that you've got going. It's a little different than what I've done. So I did notice there's a return button. Maybe instead of clicking on it, you need to click the return.
But now the odd part is, here's version 1. If I edit, it's going to show me the revisions that I made.
Yeah, so go up real quick. Yeah, click on that and say return.
Okay, let's find out. So that just takes us back to the viewer then.
Okay, and then yeah, we'll look at it and we can come back. Yeah, I saw the version 1.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
A little different workflow than I've tested, so we'll.
And that's okay. But yeah, we can touch on that real quick when we do the next webinar. Okay. Typically, you're able to see that you've got a version 1, a version 2, a version 3, etc. You have the capability to change versions. If you come over to your ellipsis, you'll be able to see that when I have more than one, I do not at this point in time. Okay, so with that, we'll move on. As we continue the project, content, folders, files, they're going to get larger. We all know that. The beautiful thing is we're not taking up a bunch of server space, physical server space within our office. IT will love you, right? Okay. Sometimes it's much easier to search within docs. So for example, you can use the search and filter function, and we can set parameters based on what we're trying to look for. Okay. You can do the same thing through projects, and we can search for projects this way. We can look for specific file types, for example. Okay. And it'll populate and bring it up very much like search in Word. Okay. So for example, I want to click file types. One thing to remember, and it's actually a very simple and efficient little nub here, it will only populate the file types that are uploaded within this project. You don't have to hunt and peck through a bunch of different types of files. You simply click JPEG, okay, and you can click search. There's our JPEGs, okay? So you don't have to, so when these get really large, your search also, your search and filter function comes in really handy. Now you also have the ability, okay, there's no saved searches yet, but when I do, I have the ability to go back in and utilize saved searches as well. Okay. All right. Now, if I go up to my top left corner, this is our product picker. I was almost going to say project, but it's our product picker. So I've expanded I've selected the pull down, I've expanded my menu here, and I can use this to flip between any of the other products that I have access to, in this case, design collaboration, model coordination. So if I click in there, it's going to go to design collaboration. It's going to take just a quick second. One thing to remember is that the cloud may not be as quick as a physical server. For example, if I add members or permissions or projects, it may take a little bit of time in order for it to populate and refresh. Don't panic, okay? So here's my welcome to design collaboration. I can go ahead and get started. We're not going to do that. That'll be in the next webinar, okay? We'll address that another day. So we'll just close that, okay? We'll go back to our product picker. We can see what, excuse me, what type of admin status you have. In this case, I do have project admin status and account admin status, so I can go back and forth between these. And it will show us our members, so I can add members here. I can add companies. We can make changes to our settings, etc. Okay. Let's take a look at model coordination real quick, just to give you an idea what that's going to look like as well. Okay. Very similar interfaces. Okay. Should be very straightforward and simple to move from one product to the next without losing and having that big learning curve of different interfaces. Okay. One nice little option is Insight. Insight represents a dashboard for your overall project. Okay. You have different cards. Currently, the cards are project address and the site weather. So it will literally tell you what's going on at the site at this very second. Okay. Now, I can zoom in and I can tell you that 1060 West Addison is Wrigley Field. Okay. Home of the Chicago Cubs. All right. These will populate as the project goes on, but this is a very quick and easy way to get an idea of what's happening. Okay. So if I click over here, I can see the card library. Okay. So there are several in here that we can utilize. Okay. In different companies, etc. Project controls, we can take a look at design issues by company. We can add what kind of reviews. So literally we can get as much information that has been inputted during the process of this project utilizing BIM, and very fast. Okay. All right. Excellent. So let's add some members. Okay. So once this happens, once we add our members, we can control their permissions. We can manage members at the project and the account admin level. So either one of those folks can do that. Okay, so we'll take a look at assigning permissions to folders. I'm going to use Alice as my team member and also set permissions for her to see. So if you could, Alice, open up your cloud and at least get to the point where when I ask you, we can flip to show you what you have. But you've got a minute or
you're gonna invite me, so I'll get an email.
I'm gonna invite you. You're special today.
Well, once you invite me, if you want, I can show how you get the email and click on it and go right to it.
Beautiful. Yep, please do. That'll be perfect.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's go back. Docs. Okay. So here's our information here. What do we need to do? Project or account admin. I'll just go to project admin. Okay. Because this is where I can add members. So if I add project members, oh, okay, it's 100. I thought it was 200. You can access and input 100 email addresses in this location and literally add your entire company in one batch addition. Okay. Now, I'm only adding Alice. We'll go one at a time. Start typing, oh, and there's Alice, because she's already part of another project. So if you have, once you start building your library of projects, if you just need to add 1 or 2 people at a time, and they are associated with another project, it's very simple to go ahead and grab, in this case, Alice, and we can set a company. Now,
since I'm already assigned to a company, you can leave it as the default, and then it will automatically assign whatever company the admin assigned me to.
Correct. Correct. But these are all of the companies that have been added by other admins for projects. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So we're going to add Alice. She is Hagerman. Now this is where I can decide what type of information I want Alice to have access to. Would I like her to have access to just the project tools, or would I actually like her to be another admin? Now you can have several admins. You're not limited to just one. And in this case, I just want Alice to be a project member just to show you what she's going to see and how it's going to invite her, etc. So the members must have a subscription to the selected products at a minimum. Okay, we want them to have docs for sure. Design collaboration and model coordination. We're going to work with Alice. She's our architectural Revit person. She's going to work with me. I'm the civil person, and we're going to come together after the fact and get all of this good stuff. All right. So I did kind of skip this, and I apologize. I'm going to go ahead and assign her role. We'll look at that architect right off the bat. Okay. So she's going to be a project member. I'm going to add her. Now, if you see adding member, this may take up to a minute. Okay, eventually it will populate. We'll see Alice. Now,
All right, so I just got the email. Do you want to?
yeah, hold on just a second, okay?
Okay, yep.
So there she is. There's Alice, smiling face there. Okay. Now, the major benefit here, if you're using companies and roles, is that it allows you to globally assign permissions to specific areas of the project. So like Alice previously said, you can do it at the admin level and then it will automatically populate. Okay, so if I set permissions in this case for a company like Hagerman _ ACC, if I give the company all of the permissions and I assign Hagerman _ ACC to any new member, they will also have those permissions automatically. You wouldn't have to go through and go ahead and do your members using that legacy add, etc. You'd be able to do that. Okay. So, all right, Alice, can you switch to your screen?
Yeah, I'm looking here.
Let me stop.
Hang on, I think I got it here. Okay, so I'm going to.
And then you should be able to in the file options. There you go.
What screen is it showing?
I see your screen.
Which one do you see? Oh, that one. Okay.
I actually see your email. Welcome to 2024-01-09
Okay.
Civil. I see the invite.
Okay, so here on the invite, I can just say go to project, and it will open up that particular project on a different screen though. And so it takes me directly in to the project. Currently, I don't have any access to any of the folders yet, but I'm a member of the project.
Okay, so let's change that. So let's keep this open for you.
Okay.
But I'm going to come back and show my screen.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I think I changed presenter to me so I could switch over.
Yeah, I think you need to stop and then I can grab mine.
I think you got it.
All right, should be back to me. Okay, so let's change this. Let's give Alice some access. Okay, so we've already said that we want her to have access to docs, design collaboration or model coordination there. Okay. One thing to be aware of, if you want to remove someone from the project, okay, maybe they've left the company, no longer affiliated with that team, you can click the ellipsis down here at the far right and select remove member, and all of the permissions, access, etc. are taken away from them automatically. Okay. Okay. All right. So we've got Alice. We're going to stop here and let's go ahead. And I think we need to go to our project, right?
Yeah, I think it's like you have the docs tab up at the top open. So
If we go to docs.
you can just give me permissions to one of those folders, whichever one you want.
So let's just say, let's just do the PDFs that we have. Okay. And I would need to permission settings.
Yep.
Okay. And we want to add. And we should be able to type in Alice, and there she is. This is also where you could add her by the company. Okay. But we're going to add Alice here. And we're going to give her the ability to, for right now, view and download files. Okay. Now, I do that for a reason. What if there is a conflict in permissions? Okay. For example, I'm the project admin. Okay. But if we set the permissions up via company, I belong to Hagerman _ACC as well. So what permissions would I have? Would I have permissions to the plans and profiles, the PDFs? What happens is if there is a conflict and you are actually part of two different types of permissions, you will have the one that has the least amount of restriction. Okay, so even if I was part of Hagerman _ACC and all that was available to them was view, I would still have the ability to manage because I'm either a project admin or an account admin. Okay, now one thing to be aware of here, can only increase permissions. You cannot decrease them. So a good rule.
Let me just clarify, in a subfolder. So if you were to give me, let's say, view permissions at the project file level, I could only have more permissions in the subfolders. I couldn't have less. So you couldn't give me project admin at the top and then try to give me less lower.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for the clarification.
Sure.
Excellent. Okay, so we're going to let you view. So we'll say add. It's going to submit. Okay, it's going to take a second. Alice now has the ability to take a look at those plan and profile PDFs.
Switch back over to me.
And yep, let's switch back over to you, Alice.
You can see my screen.
And you can see that her PDFs have populated. And she has the ability to go ahead and then click on one and take a look at it.
So it's pretty straightforward once you get those permissions set up as far as what access folks have. So back to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Alice. I appreciate your helpfulness. Okay. So with that, we've set up our project, given a look at docs, design, and model coordination. We've taken a look at adding some members. We've taken a look at permissions and what we can and cannot see. Okay. So in our next webinar, which again is February the 8th at the same time, okay, we'll go into more specific aspects of the civil functionality of the BIM Collaboration Pro